right, Nate, thank you so much. Also tonight, a drug that can kill someone with just a few grains is taking lives right here in our region.
It's so dangerous. The state of Tennessee issued a public health advisory this year, and law enforcement is being forced to rethink how they protect themselves. Sydney Cameron is in your corner uncovering the dangers of fentanyl.
My life's been full. I've savored much. Good friends, good times, a loved one's touch. You say that fits your son?
Yes.
Nearly 8 months after his son's death, it's still hard for Dr. Clay Renfro to talk about it.
That I can tell that from the stories that you tell.
His only son, Frederick, and Dr. Renfro shared a lot. A career in medicine and a love of fishing.
But I was with him when he caught that, and he fought it for a good while before he ever got him on land.
Renfro also had a long fight with opioid addiction. From an early age, he suffered severe pain from kidney stones and depression, which eventually led to addiction.
Knew there was some problem for several years, but getting him to accept that he had a problem was the big issue.
In March, at just 46 years old, Renfro died from an overdose of an extremely powerful synthetic opioid called fentanyl.
It is a significant threat.
Fentanyl is a narcotic painkiller typically used for cancer patients. It's similar to morphine, but is much more potent. Illicit versions made and sold on the streets are up to 10,000 times more powerful. From 2015 to 2016, both Tennessee and Virginia saw big increases in drug overdose deaths related to fentanyl.
It can be absorbed through the skin, transdermal, or it can be inhaled.
Using a combination of sugar and artificial sweetener, Tommy Farmer with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation showed us just how dangerous fentanyl can be. So these specks on my finger right now, if this was fentanyl...
More than enough to overdose you.
Lethal.
Lethal.
Farmer says it only takes the equivalent of 3 grains of sugar to overdose on fentanyl. However, the consistency of fentanyl is much more fine, like a powder, making it easier to spread.
You can see the powder. And if you breathe,
I can smell it.
you can not only smell it, you can taste the sweetener, the sugar in the back, just out of just opening that up and just simple tossing it around. That's what can happen with fentanyl. It could be transferred with fentanyl.
And this is what makes it so dangerous for law enforcement.
It was a routine traffic stop.
Earlier this year, a Washington County Sheriff's deputy got lucky when a K-9 alerted him to drugs inside a car. A field test showed it was heroin, but Lieutenant Doug Gregg says it wasn't until it was sent off to the TBI crime lab that officers found out there was also fentanyl mixed in.
He was wearing gloves for precaution, and that was about it. He had no dust mask on, he had no goggles.
Other officers haven't been so lucky. Just a few weeks ago in Memphis, several officers had to be treated at a hospital for a suspected exposure. TBI crime labs are seeing more cases of illicit fentanyl. 5 years ago, there were only 12 confirmed cases in the state. So far this year, there are more than 300, including more than 3 dozen right here in the Tri-Cities. In Southwest Virginia, there were more than 600 confirmed cases last year.
So it's changing our dynamics of how we have to protect law enforcement and our first responders, how we protect the public.
Almost every law enforcement agency in the Tri-Cities now equips its officers with naloxone to protect themselves and others from accidental overdosing. It's a medication that can reverse the effects of an overdose. Some law enforcement agencies, like the Washington County Sheriff's Office, even have naloxone for their canines because their sniffing puts them at higher risk of exposure. Just like in the Washington County traffic stop, users may not realize other drugs are laced with fentanyl.
It's not a matter of if it's going to kill you, it's a matter of when it kills you. You will overdose.
Overdose like Frederick Renfro.
Addicts are just your everyday son or daughter. They shouldn't be ostracized.
But Dr. Renfro hopes his son's story can help save the next person and give meaning to his son's premature death. Sydney Cameron, News Channel 11 in your corner.
Now, if you or someone you know is suffering from substance abuse and need help, call the Tennessee Red Line. We have that number right there on your screen.